Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Story Time. Happy Thanksgiving. Tonight, we're going to read a new book called Two Little Sisters Golden Autumn by Tanya Falconer. Falconer. And you can find her books on Amazon or Barnes and Noble and a few other places. And Miss Tanya sent me not only this book, but she sent me her whole series of Two Little Sisters, and we're going to be reading those throughout December and several others. And our friend Shadow is trying to say hello. And so she loves to tell stories, and she has 3 grandchildren, and that's how the stories began. She would tell her grandchildren the stories. And she has 2 grandsons and 1 granddaughter, and they love her stories, and I know they do. And so she promised them that one day she would write the stories in a book so that they could read it to their children and the grandchildren. And so she has a cat named Snowball, and we actually have a cat book by Miss Tanya that we'll be reading soon. And her favorite color is red and white. So, before we get started on our story, you know what we like to say around here. So let's get ready and say our names first of all. When I say 2, I want you to just tell me your name so we can all be friends. Ready? 1, 2. Claudia. Thank you for telling me your name. I know you're going to enjoy this book. And what else do we like to say? We like to say, gather your children and gather your blankets, your bears, and your sisters too, and let's all settle down because I have a story to read to you. Do you have a sister? I don't have a sister. I have a brother, but no sister. I've always wanted one. I always thought it would be great to have a sister. And so we're going to also be reading Two Little Sisters Christmas, and we're going to be reading another one of her books too, plus the book about her cat. And so let's all say hello to our friends Journey. Hi, Journey, and Caleb. Hi, Caleb. And remember, I told you, boys and girls, that we always sign, all artists sign their works. And look, Miss Tanya signed her works. She signed her book. Look how beautiful the colors are. It makes me think of fall, doesn't it? Hello, fall. The Two Little Sisters Golden Autumn is the story of 2 little sisters' wonderful autumn experience with all gratitude for the family unity and care for the loved ones. That shadow making noise. And so, 2 Little Sisters Golden Autumn. Look how beautiful. Have you seen leaves? Do you see leaves of yellow and orange and red and green and brown still in your neighborhood? I do. Beautiful golden leaves were flying in the air, falling off the trees and gently laying all over the streets. The 2 little sisters were walking down the sidewalk lined with trees on both sides with their grandpa. To the younger sister, Tata, it seemed like there was no end to the fallen leaves. The little girls carefully were making their way through the leaves. They did not want to disturb the leaves' beauty. Do you like walking through the leaves? I do. You see the butterflies? And the cat and the dog? And Shadow's playing in a cardboard box. Thus, the magical golden autumn has arrived. It was one of the most beautiful seasons of the year when the two little sisters surprisingly noticed new changes outside the window. Almost all the trees had turned a yellow color. Even the sun changed its attire from extremely bright to a nice soft shade with gentle rays. That autumn was one of the many things that the two little sisters liked the most. The two little sisters loved to walk in the nicest park in the city alongside their grandparents through the entire park. The red and golden leaves on the maple trees looked their best this time of the year. Sorry about that. Their colors had beautiful, gracious shades from yellowish to almost burgundy on the edges, and their sizes were almost as big as their grandpa's hands. At the end of the sidewalk, a two-story, gorgeous building stood alone. It was the two little sisters' music school. The building had been donated to the city a long time ago by a very kind old musician who loved teaching music to children. I used to be a music teacher. Did you know that? The weather was warm and the windows were open. The two little sisters could hear sounds of all kinds of musical instruments. Look, they're dancing. Do you like to sing or dance? This is called a treble clef. And then Shadow agrees, and this is a piano. And see the notes? This is an eighth note. Like other children, the two little sisters loved music. The older sister, Erin, was enrolled in her third year of piano lessons and was doing quite well. Even though the younger sister, Tata, had just started her first music lesson a few months ago, she felt confident. Playing the piano has become the two little sisters' favorite activity all year round. The girls studied very hard and could not wait for the upcoming special family event to play the piano together. Hi, Shadow. Do you play the piano? Do you know somebody who does? That's Shadow opening the cabinet door. The two little sisters were excited that a special day was finally here. Usually after school, Erin and Tata liked to play outside with friends, but not this day. On this day, they rushed home with excitement to celebrate grandparents' double birthday. Since their grandparents' birthdays were only a few days apart, they decided to have one big birthday celebration. A special event celebration was planned. For this occasion, the two little sisters prepared a nice surprise for the guests and family. The little girl's mother asked their great Aunt Zena, who was a very good cook, to help her prepare a tasty meal for the birthday party. The two little sisters could not imagine a better dinner than ones prepared by their mother and great aunt. Prior to the special day, each family member was participating in the preparations. Grandma was proud to share with her two little sisters, mother and grand aunt, her traditional recipes that had been kept in the family for generations. Meanwhile, the father and grandpa were shopping to supply the cooking team in the kitchen. Thus, the golden autumn has begun, not only beautiful, but also a busy and fun season for the two little sisters and their family. Besides the fall decor that the two little sisters had nicely done in the house with their mom and grandma, all the trees and bushes around the home were adorned in gorgeous autumn colors. Grandma's garden was brightened by its new flower bed filled with marigolds, mums, and asters. Grandma's garden was especially made for the family Sunday's afternoon when all family members gathered around the table and having some tea and dessert. It was a good time to discuss the events of the past week and make plans for the next one. Grandpa sat in his garden rocking chair and told funny jokes to make the two little sisters laugh. Thinking of the fun birthday celebration in the garden, the two little sisters prepared to play Happy Birthday together on the piano. The girls' dad opened the living room's French doors to the garden, and the family's old piano became a part of the upcoming event. The two little sisters, with great anticipation, placed the music sheets on the piano stand. The fall weather was still warm with a nice light breeze. The sweet autumn fragrances from the flower garden were flowing in the yard and the house, adding a pleasant smell to the holiday. Grandma and Grandpa looked their very best in their special birthday outfits. Grandma's dress was a nice gift from Grandpa for her birthday. Beautiful yellow and orange lights were hanging in the garden on the trees on the thin lines. Nice brown, well-crocheted blankets were spread all over the seats around the table full of pies. This time of the year, the desserts were fruit pies baked by the two little sisters' mom and great aunt, Zena. The pies smelled and looked delicious. Do you have a favorite pie? I like apple pie and pecan pie, and I see cherry pie and pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie. It all looks wonderful. As the afternoon approached, the special earlier dinner was ready. The family began to gather in Grandma's garden, and the guests started to arrive as well. Grand Uncle Steve, a retired pilot, was already in the house, helping the two little sisters' dad to set up the chairs around the table. The girls knew him as a good storyteller. Do you see the gnomes? Do you see cherry pie? There's the cherry pie right there. And look at that beautiful strawberry cake. Thus, the family and guests sat down for the birthday dinner. All celebration dishes were delicious. Grand Aunt Zena went all out to bake Grandpa's favorite chocolate cake. Right before the cake was served, the two little sisters played the happy birthday song on the piano, which they had recently learned for this special occasion. The whole family and the guests wished happy birthday to Grandma and Grandpa. Grandma and Grandpa's faces were happy with big smiles. The double birthday celebration turned out to be lovely. The golden autumn natural beauty added amazing charms to such a special event. A few golden silverous tree leaves sparkled in the air around the yard, slowly sinking down. You see the pine cone? After such a lovely birthday party, the two little sisters ran outside to play with their friends in the multiple colored piles of fallen leaves. There were so many different colors and shapes of the leaves. Some leaves were just yellow, while some of them were still partially green. One completely red leaf amazed Tata the most. The two little sisters decided to save it in the family album as a nice memory of the golden autumn. The end. Did you enjoy this book, Two Little Sisters, Golden Autumn? I hope you did, because I enjoyed reading it to you. And we will read other books by Miss Tanya very, very soon. And I hope that you enjoyed it. And I have one more book to post that will be posted for Thanksgiving, and it's about Thanksgiving. It's called Miss Rabbit's Friendship Dinner by Miss Carol Roman. Miss Carol sent us this last year, and I read it a year ago. But I'm hoping more of you will listen as I read it again, and I know you will enjoy it as much as you enjoyed the Two Little Sisters, Golden Autumn. And I want to thank Miss Tanya for sending me this book and all the other books that she sent me recently. And I want to thank you for coming to Storytime, and I hope you'll come back very soon. Good night, everybody.